Hi, everybody. This is Jan Stringer.
And
And,
Alan Hickman.
and we're here today for our June SACAT monthly call. And we have a guest speaker, a SACAT in the spotlight, as we say, Dr. Christina Boiano. So everybody knows Christina, but um, one of the things that I was excited about today's call is that Christina has played a very important part in my personal healing and evolution. And I was introduced to her, referred by a mutual friend. How long ago was that, Christina? It's been 10 years or something.
Yeah, I was right. It was about 10 years, yeah.
I think it has been 10 years. And little did I know that when I met her for the first time, I think we'd met before, but I hadn't had a doctor appointment with you, official appointment. And little did I know that when I lay down on her table and she did her magic with me, which to me, when I looked back, I'm like, what did she do? I mean, I don't even remember doing anything, you know. It actually unlocked a very deep wound of mine, many wounds that have been held uh, in secret by me for many, 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 many years. In fact, I had never been able to look at it myself. It was completely suppressed that I'd had a childhood sexual abuse. And Dr. Christina, she was the safe space that I have been looking for, that was safe enough for me to be able to part the veil and drop my cloak of invisibility. And she's been a dear friend and a very important healer for me since the day I met her. So I'm very excited for her to be here. And Alan, you want to chime in on how you know Christina?
Well, yeah. In one of the promotional emails, I had mentioned that one of my most cherished and favorite books in the world is this essential oils desk reference. And I don't know if you can see there's all these pages marked. When I first got this book, maybe over a decade ago, I just couldn't stop reading it. It was just essential oils were just absolutely fascinating to me. And it was that, so I felt like I knew a lot, but really Christina raised basically my knowledge and understanding of essential oils to, an entirely new level. And we've been working together in the mastery coaching program that she's in. And I remember coming up saying, well, she needed some kind of an ebook of sorts. And she said, well, I'd like to write a little ebook called 6 Steps to Feeling Yummy. And so I asked her, great, what are the 6 steps? And I remember I've still got that paper with the notes on it, Christina, in case you ever would like to refer
I have
to
it too.
Yeah, but one of the first steps was essential oils. And so I'm just really grateful to Christina and who she's being in the world and the differences she's making in my life and the lives of a lot of other people in actually the being able to not only have me understand, have a deeper understanding of the value of essential oils, but also that I can actually make an essential oil with her. And this is where the strategic attraction planning process comes in. It gives her content that she can then make an essential oil blend specifically custom made for me for a specific thing that I might be working on. And so that's why I'm really excited to have Christina here today to share this wisdom with everyone.
Well, without further ado,
Drum roll, please, because that's one of the steps. Drum roll.
Right.
All right, why don't you get us started?
I will.
I want to yummify my life today.
You want some yummification. Share screen. Slideshow. All right. So thank you too. I love you guys so much. And all those great things they said about me, I bring right back to you guys in terms of how important you are to me personally and in a business sense. And just so happy to be here because I love sharing what I'm passionate about with people that I love. So this is perfect. So today I will be talking just a tiny bit about all 6 steps, just so you know what that's all about. And I'll be focusing mostly on essential oils and a little bit on one other one because I have to, because it's so much a part of me. So as you can see here, I'm a chiropractor plus, which we coined actually on a SACAT call eons ago. And really think about what that means is I love helping people transform their lives. More than most chiropractors, helping people get out of pain. I love really helping people get deep inside of themselves, feeling yummy, being able to live out their purpose. So that led me to find lots of things that are not typical in the chiropractic world. And all 6 of these steps really play into it. So you guys remember Calvin and Hobbes? They were so much fun.
Yeah.
So the 6 steps initially grew, as Alan was talking about, to a degree, from me needing to go from like this. Can anybody relate to being like that? Yeah. To going like that. And I have lots and lots of tools. One day I was talking with Alan and I was not in this space. I was more in the previous space. And he said, well, what do you do to help yourself feel yummy? And I went, this was my stock answer at the time. Oh, I've got 150 things. And that was my way of sabotaging myself, I think. And Alan said, well, just give me the top 6. And it was the right question because it really made me go, wow, what things do I utilize the most that are just so easy to use? Anybody can do them and shift my energy like that. And, you know, one of the things on my attraction plan is on part 3, one of my big ones is I expect my perfect customers for me to feel yummy. So it was a way of helping me really be in integrity with my strategic attraction plan as well. And to help me stay in the being. If I'm not feeling yummy, it's really hard for me to stay in the being statements I'm declaring. And it also helps me feel my passion. So, and for me, that's the root of it all. If I'm not connected with that, nothing really great happens. So that's how this came about. And I've been saying for years that yummy is my favorite word. So I had to name it that. So first, we're going to go with step number 1, be present in your body. Our bodies are one of our greatest assets and resources. And like Jan talked about her experience, she had so much information and actually wisdom and healing ability that was stuck in her body. And it was so important to get present, for her to get present to that. And, you know, the way that I work is drop little pebbles in the pond like I did with Jan, and miraculous things happen. And so much of it is focused on the body, on your body, whether we're sitting together and I'm doing a hands-on session or not. So I'd like to do a little activity so if everybody can just relax. Close your eyes. Just take a couple of nice deep breaths. Just start noticing what you're experiencing in your body. And one important step to be present in your body is to ask your mind for help with perceiving what's going on. So when I sit to do this, I say, and you could repeat this inside to your mind or something like it. Mind, thank you so much. You're so brilliant. What I really need your help with right now is helping me perceive and experience what's going on in my body. I need your help for me being present in my body. So just take a couple of nice deep breaths and just notice where your body feels fluid, where you feel energy, where your breath seems to penetrate easily. If you feel your mind start to wander off, just say, remind your mind that you need its help. Now just feel into an area in your body that maybe doesn't feel quite so fluid or maybe painful or tense. And ask your mind to really focus in on that. And if it's a place that you can reach, if it feels right to you, you can put your hand on that area. And just for right now, let the tension or whatever you're experiencing there build a little bit. Let it collect some energy. Once that impulse gets stronger, just move your body a little bit. See if you ask your body, ask that area, how can I move? How do you want me to move you in order to shift that energy? And then go ahead and do it. And if you want to get up and shake it out, move around. Movement around these types of areas is one of the greatest. I beg my clients, please move your body. And then make some sound. That's another way. It completely transmutes your energy and helps get underneath that tension. I often cough if I'm really at a place that's deep for me. Now that that's shifted a little, go back to that area and ask it, what wisdom are you trying to give me? What are you trying to communicate to me? Just see what you get. It's likely related to something you've been contemplating or wanting insight on. And you may get an obvious answer or you may not. Your body may say, let's go take a walk. And then just thank your body, take a couple of nice deep breaths. And come on back to the room on your next breath or two. When you're ready, open your eyes. Did anybody have anything they'd like to share with that?
Figure out how to go to sleep for a month.
Well, in that case, Carrie, I would say, well, body, that might be a little hard to do. You know, how can I help you rest more or something like that? Anybody else?
Yeah, I could actually feel a release of energy around this area that's suffering from diverticulitis.
Oh,
so less congestion there right now.
Wow. Great. Ooh, yes.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I had one. I've been having a really difficult time with my neck and shoulders, just a lot of tension in my neck. And when I asked my body what was going on, there was some stuck energy in my throat. So
Wow.
I went, wow, thank you for that message. I had no idea.
Yeah. So quick and easy. Our body really has their own consciousness and so much innate wisdom. And see how that was probably 3 or 4 minutes. Wow. That, that's a very powerful tool. And that's why I wanted to do a little bit with this particular step, because it's so, so powerful. And again, I want to encourage you, this move and make some noise is so important. People are, especially just making sound, our bodies are vibration and sound is vibration. So it's a great way to shift your energy. I beg my clients, like, please do what I asked you to do and just tune in with your body and make some sound every day. It's a transformer in a big way. So hopefully that'll help, and that's something you all can yummify your life with a little bit in coming days. And so the next few, we're just going to go quickly through so we can focus on the essential oils, which actually is step number 2, connect with essential oils and plant spirit medicine, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. Step 3 is nourish yourself. One of the things I love about the 6 steps is as we go on, you'll see they all connect with each other. So it's really wonderful. You could pick a few things to do from this list and it hits a lot of them. So when you think about nourish yourself, it's not just I need to eat good food, but also emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, how do you nourish yourself? And loving yourself, I have a list of what I love about myself. I did this a long time ago and I did it again recently. I recommend you to do that. And then if I'm feeling not so great about myself, I can look at that list and say some of those things out loud to myself. And also just make a list of what nourishes you and pick from it every day. Or if you're not feeling yummy. And of course, I had to pick this. Look at all those. I want to eat every one of those things there. Step 4 is do something you love. I picked this picture because as a kid, I loved swinging on swings. And we used to go camping, this one campground in Maine, and it had this giant swing. I mean, it was the biggest swing I've ever seen, and it had wooden seats, so it was really comfortable. It wasn't the kind that squish your bottom, which I don't like. And it felt like flying. So when I was thinking about the step and saw that picture, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have to go find a swing to swing on pretty soon here. So it makes me feel free. So what do you love doing that you haven't done in a long time? If I haven't picked up my drum in a few days, it's hard for me to feel really yummy. So that's something I go back to over and over again. Step 5, this, if anybody knows me a little bit, is not going to surprise you, is play with music and rhythm. Rhythm is indigenous in and drumming indigenous in every single culture in our world. And it's so often used to transmute energy, to connect people, and to really create shift and change. So it's a wonderful thing to do. It's also, if something has triggered you and you just need to beat it out, it's so great to get on a drum and just drum away. It really helps transmute that. I encourage everybody to sing, even if you feel like you can't carry a tune. One of the things I love to do when I cook, I blast like the 70s and 80s rock and roll station, which is when I grew up, and just sing at the top of my lungs while I'm cooking. And dancing. Jan, you know all about this one, right? Jan loves to dance.
I love to dance. You hit on some things that really do help me to nourish myself, connect with my body. I can do that all in a dance class and play with music and rhythm. Yeah.
Exactly. See, they go like this, really.
Yeah, my favorite is when there's a drum in the background or even a lot of drumming in the music, because that can really get you going. gets
Yeah.
me going.
Yeah. And then one of the most powerful meditations what the Native Americans do when they go on journeys is meditate to the heartbeat rhythm.
Mm.
You could even just do that with your hands.
Yeah.
Or on a table. You don't even need a drum. I encourage everybody to go get a drum. Whatever type floats your boat. Or when you're here, ask me. I've got 100 of them. So literally.
Alan
So,
and I, when we first moved to Santa Fe, I wanted to buy a drum, and I don't think I knew you at that time, or I probably would have asked you. So we were kind of on, well, where do you go to get a drum? And we decided to go to Taos. I can't remember. We must have had a tip or a lead on that. And we stopped at a store that was just outside of Taos that had drums. And I think the lady mentioned there that at the Pueblo, which is what, 2,000 years old, Pueblo, and there's actually families that still live there, that might be a good place to find a drum. So we were on this little magical tour, and just following the beat of the drum that we were supposed to buy, and we followed it to the Taos Pueblo, and it was in the wintertime, so it was kind of a dreary, cold day, and not many people at the Pueblo. And so they were inviting you into their homes. And they had the Kiva fireplace going. Anyway, we bought our drums there.
Well, it really was a mystical experience, because it's almost like this guy appeared outside of the door of his shop, home office, you might say. And he invited us in, and we walk in, and he's got like 2 or 3 pieces of jewelry and 2 drums.
And he said, what are y'all looking for? We said, well, we wanted drums. And he said, well, how about these? And he had made them.
And they were and he explained how they were the exact perfect drums for us. And
it was a
we
girl
played
and a
with
boy drum.
Yeah. But it was just how he just seemed to appear with these drums.
So you're reminding me I need to start playing my drums.
Well, and I'll keep my story short, but we had a man come into town, Native American, and he was doing a drumming workshop. And I walk in, and basically I pick up a drum in my hands. My body just knows the rhythm and stuff to do with it. Mm-hmm. And there was one drum in particular that I was getting attached to, and I went back and forth about whether I could afford it. I think it was like $80. And I finally decide that I'm going to buy the drum. And I go up to him, and he says, he says, I want that drum. And he says, no, I'm sorry, it's sold. So I walk away. And about 2 weeks later is my birthday, and my wife had bought it for me.
Oh.
But I've actually made 2 drums myself at drumming workshops. So, like Christine, I don't have hundreds, but I have a few, and they have special meaning to me.
Yeah.
They often multiply when you're not looking. I swear that's how I got so many drums. So that inspires me. We'll have to do another drum circle again soon here in Santa Fe. I facilitate. I've done a lot of drum circle facilitation, both for fun and, just community drum circles, as well as for health and wellness. Been doing that forever. And like you, Carrie, when I first, particularly one type of drum that you play like this in your hands, it's one of the more difficult drums to learn how to play. And I picked it up and I knew how to play it.
Hey, you know what we could do, Christina? We could have you over to the living room here.
Yeah.
And then we'll Zoom it out.
That's great.
Invite some people over. Donna can come, and whoever else in Santa Fe, and we'll start drumming and open it up on the Zoom. Wouldn't that be
sounds
fun?
great. That would be totally fun.
Let's do it.
We could Zoom it from the Santa Fe Plaza.
Yeah, that's true. All kinds of ideas.
Get all kinds of people to join in. I remember one of my first experiences was in the Harvard Square in Boston. And there were just a couple of guys with drums just beating out a rhythm. And before I knew it, there must have been 200 people who had just picked up cans or bottles or sticks or whatever. And everybody was just in the rhythm that these two guys had started.
Yeah. Very cool. I knew you'd all be excited about that one. So the final step is collaborate and communicate. So this is exactly what we're talking about with drumming, right? That's one way to do that. So with yourself, and what I mean by this is, especially I work so much with trauma and, helping people heal or transform in other ways as well, even without a ton of trauma, though I think we've all had trauma that's holding us back. That's my theory and my experience. But there's aspects of yourself that are still stuck in that. So collaborating and communicating with those aspects of yourself is so important for helping you. For me, that sometimes when I'm like feeling all out of sorts, it's like, oh, there's a part of me that's over here doing a yada, yada, yada that I need to bring into my heart. And the oil blends help people do that, which we'll be talking about in a little bit. With others, of course, that's what we were just talking about. This is a big one too. It's your unseen allies and guides. These guys are my constant companions. And I'm always asking for their assistance or insight. Like when I was preparing for this, I just said, okay, just help me connect with the people who are going to be there and really help me facilitate a synergistic thing that people will really get something valuable for them out of. And then, of course, with spirit, God, the divine, whatever you call it, if you believe in that. This is a big one. This is where gratitude can come into, communicating your gratitude. That was originally one of the 6 steps, but I figured it fits in with this one. So now that we've seen all 6, we're going to go to drum roll again. Connect with essential oils and plant spirit medicine. I don't know if you all noticed, but as people were sharing, I have my oil kit right next to me here. And I wish I had a way to easily show you. I've got about, I don't know how many you're in here. I think about 80 individual essential oils and a whole bunch of blends, both that I've made and that others have made. And I just said, okay, I could use a little oil pick-me-up, yummification, and I picked a Lemmy. And a Lemmy is an oil, it's like the queen oil. So it really, for me, helps me feel grounded, sovereign, but also a good sovereign, you're considering everybody in the room. So it really helped me just go, okay, I'm good, I'm present. So
how do you spell that?
ELEMI. And this one is from Sunrose Aromatics. So one of the reasons essential oils are so powerful is that the oil part of the plant is actually the hormonal and nervous system within a plant. So it really has, it records all of the information about that plant, what it needs, et cetera, et cetera. So it has all of the essence of the plant within it. And essential oils really help shift your emotional state. I had to pick one doctory picture, so forgive my indulgence here. This shows how, when we smell, it's called the olfactory system, is the smelling part of our brain. So when you smell something, it goes up your nose, and then this little part of your brain right here is the smelling portion of your brain. And it connects directly to the limbic system of your brain, which is your emotional brain. And this is why when you smell something, it can change your emotions that fast. So does anybody, like, I know my mom is such an amazing cook. And when I go home, I always ask her to make me a simple marinara sauce. And it's like 4 ingredients. And you cannot believe how good this is you got. I can't replicate hers. But when I smell that, there is nothing wrong in the world, period. Can anybody relate to that?
That's connected to mom.
Yeah. mom and comfort, and I always have so much fun cooking with her. I mean, so many things.
Right.
Does anybody have a smell like that just helps them relax totally?
This is on my desk all the time lately. Peppermint oil.
Yeah.
And it's an adaptogen oil.
Yeah.
So if I need to pick me up, it'll pick me up. If I need relaxing, it'll help me relax. So I use it throughout the day, right at the base of my neck and behind my ears. And then I use it at night before I go to bed. So
yeah.
That's one of my favorites. But I love to, I have a drawer with all my oils in there. I love to pick one, see which picks me. And I have, you've taught me so much about oils that I know they have, it's like they talk to you.
Yes.
Like they don't just sit in the desk or the place that you keep them. Sometimes I'll be sitting at my desk and I start smelling an oil before I even have one pulled out, and I go over and I look to pull out my drawer of all the oils, and one will find me, and I know that's something that I need that day.
And that's like addressing this one right here, Jan, of they have a specific message or a specific thing they're trying to help you with. Once you can start connecting with the oils, they just start interacting. They have their own essence. They are plant spirit medicine. There's so much more than peppermint is good for headaches and lavender is good for burns or calming you down. They are that, and they're amazingly powerful for that, and much more powerful than herbs of the same plants. But this is what I love about the oils, is the plant spirit medicine part of it and how helpful they are. And they really help bring the past into the present to facilitate healing and transformation in a major way. I know Jan and Alan, we've worked with that with both of you guys with this. And, the hemp oil that I'm so interested in now, more and more, I feel the plant spirit medicine of it. I can talk about the physiology and components, but it's really I think it's so powerful. So I wanted to do a little activity for one of you who has something that they would like some insight on.
Who said that?
Not sure what you mean, but I'll jump in.
So if somebody is like, there's something that is going on that you'd like a little insight on.
Yeah.
Who said yeah?
I did. Me.
It was Sana, wasn't
Sana.
it?
I think it was
Yeah.
And then Carrie, and then Ava.
Guttural utterances, Sana.
I had to turn my microphone off.
We heard her even without the microphone being.
Yeah. Hey, Sana, so just feel that. You don't even have to tell me about what it is.
Yeah.
Just feel it in your heart. Really breathe into it. And I'm just going to intuitively pick an oil. This is how I make essential oil blends, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I'm just going to feel which one jumps out to help you. Okay? Oh, boy. So this is called Robin Sarah. This is my favorite all the oils are my favorite oils. But I say it about this one more than others.
Which one of your children do you like the best?
Exactly. Whichever one's in front of me. So Robin Sarah is a very shamanic oil. And so what I'm doing is I know a lot about Robin Sarah, but now I'm just going to smell it and connect with you, Sana. So really what it's saying is just freaking go for it, girl. Whatever it is you're contemplating doing, just go for it.
Yeah.
And if you can find some of this oil, it'll help you do that. So Robin Sarah comes out when somebody is ready to start playing bigger. And be in that place and stay in that place, that more sovereign place. And it also, there's somewhere in your body that needs it, so it feels like your liver. So I'm just gonna, this is like kind of part of the magic of oils. I can breathe the scent, to you, to your liver. So do some things that are nourishing for your liver. Okay, so maybe a cleanse. Rosemary oil and lemon oil are both very good for your liver.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make sense with whatever you were wanting insight with?
Yeah. Basically, it's about letting go. It's about realizing I can't do everything and recognizing what am I done with, which is both liberating, but it also has a lot of implications.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know it. And then there's another thing, which is, it's like cutting a cord. It's really cutting a cord. Basically, it's recognizing that I need to sell my home. I need to sell my chalet. And that's a hard one. But I'm trying to, of course, focus on what is it opening up for me and what am I moving towards? And, knowing that the more, sort of like the further you have to travel to get to what you want, or the more you put into something, the greater and more powerful it is. And nothing is lost in that sense. It's just transformed. So the shamanic aspect spoke to me. And I love plant spirit medicine. I studied that, and I have a huge collection of essential oils, and it's really fun to see how you're working. I don't know this Rabansara oil.
It's not a hugely common one. And again, this one also came from Sunrose Aromatics, but you're in Europe. So I know there's great sources for essential oils in Europe. So you should be able to find it. It's not one that's super hard to find.
Yeah.
And how do you spell that again?
RavenSara.
Yeah.
And there's one that's spelled very similar that has a T in it. It's Raventsara, and it's not the same.
Okay.
So Sana, there's a lot we could do with a blend to all that stuff you addressed. Other oils would go in and start interacting. So, that's my offer to you guys, a good, really wonderful price on an essential oil blend. And if you're into it yourself, you could even play with that yourself.
Yeah, I'm curious because plant spirit medicine is, like you started to talk about, it's that it's not just it's a direct chemistry, rational thing. It's more that you make a relationship with a plant that's your ally.
Right.
And that plant works with you.
Exactly.
And I love that. I'm so interested in that we don't need to have that specific thing, but if we work with our allies, then we can have what we need,
Right. Exactly. So one of the things I love about personal essential oil blends, it's really about the transformation that takes place that I get excited about. Mm-hmm. And it's really terrific for healing any kind of trauma. As we were talking about on the call the other day, it's like, well, I can list a million things that essential oil blends help shift. Mm-hmm. And often, if you really whittle it down, it goes back to some type of trauma or experience that somebody hasn't recovered from that's holding them up. So essential oil blends will do that, and they're based on what is it you're seeking. So when I do a blend with somebody, it usually starts with an objective. Not always, though. I had a client, a couple of you have heard this story. She came in with her partner, actually, or they called me together because they were having a lot of trouble with past traumas and experiences getting in the way of their relationship. And although they love each other so much, they were just triggering each other left and right in really negative ways. So when I work with a couple, I have them come in individually first. I'll usually talk with them on the phone and then have them each come in and then work with them together. So this woman comes in. She was just signed up for a regular session. I usually don't do an oil blend unless it's an oil blend, specifically a session. And I just heard, you have to make an oil for this woman. You just have to. So I did. And for the first time, usually I pick intuitively, and also what I know about each oil. Like sometimes there's an oil that's obvious the person needs to work with. So I'll pull that out. But this time I just heard in my mind, this oil, this oil, this oil, this oil, this oil, this oil, and this oil, period. I made the blend, and two of the oils that went in surprised me and were somewhat unusual. One is called Violet Leaf, and it really connects you to alchemy and magic. So it really helps bring those pieces together that seem unrelated. To me, magic is just knowing how things work under the surface that isn't obvious. It's not rocket science, really. It's just being able to go deep enough to see how things really work. And then another one is Nioli, which is also a melaleuca, so it's related to tea tree, but it gets at the cause of the problem, whatever it is. And this oil blend helped her so much, just helped the couple in their relationship. She was not spinning out into PTSD as much. And then she was in a couple of months later, and often when people have sexual abuse, it's very hard for them to get into their lower chakras, as you might imagine. And that visit, we really needed to go there. So I said, okay, when I work with somebody, sometimes it looks like I have a pre-designed thing of what I do with people, but I don't. It's all like, okay, what do we need to do next and next and next? So often I'll just pick an oil. So I did, and it was Violet Leaf again. So that one of the oils that went into her blend, put it on, had her smell it, put it on her sacrum, and boom, she was right in her body. And it turned out to be one of our most powerful sessions. And then we were almost done, and I said, she needs an oil on her heart before we finish. And as soon as I have the thought, she says, I need an oil on my heart. So I pick another one intuitively, and it was Nioli. So it was two oils that were already in her blend. So then I put more of those oils in. Sometimes a blend will shift. She had, after 2 months, she had done quite a bit of healing. That particular blend was still the right one for her, but she needed a shift. So that's, it's really fun. And when I do the blend, it's somewhat like that little example I did with sauna. We'll go over like, what is it you're seeking assistance with? I have a whole document I send people to help them prepare. And then I just start picking the oils. And then as I'm blending, a whole intuitive reading happens that's very powerful and rich and deep. I always record the sessions or have you record them, because there's a wealth of information that comes with this, insights into what you might need to heal, activities you can do, ages inside of yourself you might want to work with. I mean, the list is pretty endless about what can come up. And so I tell people, just be with the session. We're going to record it, then go back a few days later and write notes. And just pick one or two of the things that were suggested that feel right. And then go back a week later and pick something else. So it's really gives you it gives people a roadmap for going where they want to go in their lives. It's really, really powerful and a whole lot of fun. It's one of the most fun things I do, I got to say.
You're good at it too. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And, it's just not, it's just not any reason or rhyme why it's so effective in my book, because it's not like a scientific formula. It really is the connection that you have, Christina, with the people that you're serving, and the deep connection that you have in relationship to the plants and the body.
Yeah.
And the inside of that whole relationship together, that's what creates it to be so powerful. Because, you could go down to the grocery store and buy a bottle of something,
Right.
But there's something that you bring to the equation with these oils that is just can't be bought on a shelf. True. So I think that's the other aspect to make it what you bring a lot of power to the oil blends.
Yeah. It's so much fun for me because it's, I'm very intuitive, but this is where really my pure psychic ability starts coming out. It's more than intuition. It's just like I get a download and my mouth just opens, and a lot of times I'll be like, what did I just say to them? Because it's like when you're messaging like that, it just comes through. It doesn't come from here, It really comes from the person and the oils, and I'm just the interpreter.
Yeah. So we've got just a couple of minutes to go. So you got something special for us?
I do.
Good SACAT.
So this is my offer for you all, just for my wonderful SACAT family. So the oil blends 1 hour is usually $230. That includes the oil. Happy to do it for you all for $97 if you let me know you'd like one by Friday. And then the bonus is to check in 2 or 3 weeks after you have the oil to just see how things are going and see if anything else comes up that might be helpful for you.
That's a heck of an offer. Thank you.
So is that an hour, 1 hour personal? You said I have personal essential oil on here.
Personal essential oil blend. I know I didn't line that up great, but
right. So is that an hour of consultation? An hour consultation from which you will make a personal essential oil blend.
During the consultation, I do it all at the same time. So would send you the form, the document for preparing for the session, writing up your objectives for the session, and then you email them to me before our session, and then we just go right into, I make the oil while we're there. And, we could do it on Zoom of course. Now I'm in love with Zoom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jan and Alan. So that's a great way to do it.
Jan goes back to me as far as Zoom, right, Jan?
Jan is Carrie Bell is the source of Zoom.
I'm the grandfather. I'm the grandfather of Zoom.
You are. You're totally the grandfather. He kept saying, how about Zoom? How about Zoom? And I'm like, no, can't do that.
Yeah, and Christina was saying, no, I can't even show up on a SACAT class.
Right, exactly.
And then what do? She's the technology person at our live event.
Creating oil blends using Zoom that's beautiful. So how do they get in touch with you if they want this?
Oh, I should have put my email or phone call. Well, I am in the customer hub.
Well, just tell everybody.
Okay, my phone number is 505-231-0117.
Okay.
And my email is...
Let's put it in can you close the screen share for a minute?
Chat.
And put it in the chat. That way everybody can... grab it off there and not make a mistake. So why don't you put that in? So while she's doing that, anybody like to share what you got out of Christina's talk today for yourself? Anything that... Alan?
I do. Christina, you have, you obviously have validated that my experience is correct around essential oils, that there really is something that is supporting my purpose in life. And, what makes me tick is connection. And I've had so many experiences, not just with the essential oil desk reference, but over, I guess it was about a decade ago, I was fortunate enough to meet a fellow by the name of Dr. Raju, who's a very high-level Maharishi Ayurveda physician, and we were wandering around a woodland together in Massachusetts, and he said, the plants talk to him, and I'm there, okay, and he said the plants would actually tell him what they were used for and in what combinations, etc. And so what you've brought to me is a total validation of what this guy was saying to me 10 years ago that I didn't necessarily believe. I mean, I thought it was really kind of cool that, that he said he talked to about 600 different plants, but you have really brought it to a direct personal experience for me. And again, moved and inspired me to re-enliven my essential oil collection here on my desk.
Cool.
The reason we're building a fig greenhouse is because the Fig Davis said, "You build a greenhouse."
There you go.
So
I have
at
a
least,
question.
at least talking to Colleen, not to me, but I want to take you up with it, but it'll be sometime in July.
Okay, as long as you tell me now, that's fine.
I've told you now.
Okay, got it. If anybody else wants to tell me not now, that
Send
works
her an
too.
email.
I will. I can't. I'm not quite ready for Friday.
No, you just need to make the commitment by then.
And I have a question for you.
Ava and I are both ready,
But are we?
but not this moment.
Not this moment, but we're
But
in.
we'll have a conversation with you.
Okay.
So just send her an email. That's what I recommend, and tell her what you want
Okay.
and when and that sort of thing, and then she's gonna save the deal for you. And it's a good one. Yeah.
And you had a question?
I have a question. My husband is so sensitive to scents that he can't stand to be anywhere close to anybody with perfume. I understand, or cologne. I understand a lot of that is part of the chemical, but he's pretty sensitive to these oils too. Like he wouldn't like to be with me if I was wearing it. What do you have to say about somebody like that?
What I would have to say is people who have sensitivities like that, especially if they get worse and worse and worse over time, often have a gut issue going on. This is my doctor hat coming on. There's a lot,
thank you.
A lot that can be done nutritionally to help that. So most often when people are really sensitive to smells and foods and it keeps getting worse, they often have leaky gut syndrome, which is actually pretty easy to shift unless they have something more serious going on.
Okay, thank you.
Isn't it also, Christina, perhaps that I know that sometimes an oil that I just like, oh, I don't like it. It's the very oil that I need.
Yes, absolutely.
So
that is very true. And I've done that. I've put that one to the test where it's like, and those oils, it's really interesting. Now I love them.
Right.
Because what's happening, if you smell, it's a little bit different than what Anne is talking about because she's talking about like lots of different kinds of scents.
Okay.
But if there's that one scent, it means that it's triggering something in you that you haven't been wanting to or ready to work with.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really powerful way to work with oils. Actually, pick one you don't like and work with that if you really want to heal.
Yeah, if you have the courage.
Any other comments or questions for Dr. Boiano?
I'm thrilled to know you know all of this. It's wonderful. I can refer my friends to you. I feel
Thank you so much, Ava. I would really appreciate that.
Sweet. All right. Well, Christina, that was great. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Hey.
Visibility Club off.
Visibility Club is on, out of the house.
Also reminds me, I love public speaking. It's actually, I could probably make my living just doing public speaking. I love it so very much.
You're very good at it. Yeah.
So it really, when I feel like this, it helps me move forward with that. So thank you so much.
So let's give her the standing out.
Thank you.
Remember, you started here first.
Yes.
All right. Well, love to you all. There is a SACAT class number 12 tomorrow. So we'll probably see some of you again tomorrow.
Yeah. Who is Donna?
And
I don't know who Donna is.
What?
Donna. I've never met Donna.
Donna Secular.
They don't know you, Donna. Donna is, well, I'll let you introduce her, Christina. She's your invited guest today.
Yes, Donna is in other programs with me with Jan and Alan. And I met Donna years ago at a thing we have here in Santa Fe called Friday Networking Lunch, which I know Jan and Alan have both been in as well. And loved her from the start. And then just, I was in a BNI, Business Networking International, with her, and we just totally became just such great friends, and worked with each other professionally as well. Donna is the accountant, period,
Yes.
end of sentence.
Accountant?
Accountant,
The
yes.
accountant. She is
She's
brilliant.
the one. Everybody needs a good accountant, and Donna is it.
She knows how to help you reach your goals. So one of the things she does is she'll say, well, are you saving for your kids' college? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to refinance your house? You know, whatever your goals are, do you want to just pay less taxes? And she helps you, you know, in honesty and integrity, work with your taxes in such a way that you help create your financial goals. And she's just awesome. And she's also my partner in the hemp oil business.
Ah.
Yes.
And Anne is also now one of the partners. So, well, that's Donna.
See, that's how it works, everybody.
Networking at its finest.
So Donna, are you licensed for Iowa?
I have not yet done any in Iowa. I could look into that. Usually if you're licensed in New York and Massachusetts, you can pretty much work everywhere.
Check that out. You guys can get together on that.
What's your tagline, Donna, when you're at a networking group? I always love this.
It's not what you earn, but what you keep that counts.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you're with us today, Donna, and everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your busy days and your lives to be here. So it means a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.